Hi, my name is Sarah Rae. Welcome back to my channel. Wow, 2 weeks without saying that, it feels a little off, but I'm glad to be back in the groove of doing my videos. If you don't know, I was gone for almost 2 weeks back home in New York to see my dad and my family. You guys did have pre-recorded videos, so I didn't leave you guys with nothing to watch, and it felt good. I loved reading your guys' comments while I was back home, and it was perfect. I couldn't ask for a better vacation. So with that said, today is not the video you guys are going to hope for, as you probably see by the title. Normally it would be a Def Leppard Saturday, but because of what today is, we are going to talk about 9/11. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of where I was when the towers fell, when the towers were hit, and I also have a poem I wrote in honor of 9/11 that I want to share with you guys, as well as I'm going to ring a bell in honor of the people who lost their lives, the heroes that went in to try to help free those people from the buildings who lost their lives, the heroes who survived and have PTSD from that day, and as well as the families who lost loved ones. So with that said, you guys know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications of when I upload, and let's start the discussion. So for those who don't know what 9/11 is, first of all, wow, but I'm sure there's somebody out there who don't know. In case you're watching this video, what 9/11 is an attack on American grounds. There were 4 planes that were hijacked, and 2 of them went towards New York City. We have 2 World Trade Centers, some very large skyscrapers, and 1 hit the first tower, the North Tower, and the other one hit the South Tower. A 3rd plane hit a part of the Pentagon, and the 4th plane was very bravely taken a hold of and driven to the ground by very, very brave and amazingly strong passengers. It's scary to think something like that can happen on your homeland, and I'm sure we all can remember where we were that day. I was 8 years old, and I was in the car with my brother and my mom. We were in Wisconsin, and we were headed to school. Me and my brother, we were going back and forth like kids do, siblings do, of course. And my mom was listening to the radio, and it came on that the first tower was hit. And she started shushing us. And of course, as a little kid that age, you don't really comprehend what's happening. You don't understand. You just know something must be important because your mom is telling you to be quiet, and she turns up the radio. And there's a news report about an attack. And I'm listening, and I don't quite understand what's happening. I just know terrorists attacked a building in New York City. We get to school, and I get settled into my classroom, and they have the TVs on, which is unusual. We don't really have the TVs on very often in my classroom. And at that time, like a little later, I will learn my mom was in the office, but at that time, the second tower was hit. So my mom was in the main office, and I was in my classroom when the second tower hit. And my teacher just started crying. Like, she was emotional. So I knew, again, something terrible happened. But again, I'm a kid. I know something devastating's happening, but I don't fully understand. And during class, we're just sitting there watching those TVs, and we're not exactly doing work. So I was in school when the towers were hit and when they fell. My mom was at home sitting there saying, they're gonna fall, and they fell. Now, being older, seeing the footage, I'm like appalled. I just, like, even talking about it is emotional. It's like, that happened. And I'm finally at an age, thank God, I would hope so, that I can understand what happened. That terrorists overtook planes to purposely attack us, to harm as many people as they can on our homeland. Now, I do know all the conspiracies because I read into them, of course. And, but it is a very hard thing to watch. You see these brave firemen and police officers and paramedics doing their jobs, doing everything they can to get as many people out of those buildings. And you just sit there as an adult now, knowing that there are people trapped above that impact site. Knowing that they're not going to make it. You see people jumping out of the buildings and just it is a terrible, terrible sight to see. It's heartbreaking is what it is. And to think they have family members that they're never going to see. And then on top of that, you gotta think of the people who didn't go into work that day, that probably have survivor's guilt. And even those people that made it out of the towers probably have that too. There's so many people out there that are hurting even to this day. Firemen and police officers in that building knowing that at some point that tower, those towers are going to go down. Or hearing the first tower going down and knowing that at some point your tower is going to go down. I love the memorial they built with all the names of the people that passed away due to this heinous attack. I thought it was very beautiful on Ground Zero. And I do want to go to the museum at some point. I have mixed emotions about the One World Trade Center. But those are my opinions, but that's where I was when the towers first hit. And second hit and went to the ground. And I just look back and just see like an innocent kid just not knowing what's happening and how that affects you growing up. Because even being a little kid, seeing that and then seeing how that changed the world, is very impactful. Because, I mean, the way you fly changed. I mean, the way you see the world, period, is different. So, I would love to hear where you guys were when this happened. So please leave it in the comment section down below where you guys were when the towers hit and fell. Now, I would love to read you guys my poem. I'm also going to leave it in the description box down below so you guys can read it if that makes it easier. So I'm going to look down and read it. So here we go. The sun rises to an early morning flight. Clothes packed, kissed loved ones goodbye. Checked in, thinking everything will be alright. Unaware what will happen in the sky. Planes take off when you inevitably see the monster's face with plans so real. And soon this tragedy will be an event that we will all feel. First to be hit is the North Twin Tower, then the South Tower, both by planes. Passing by, watching an uncontrollable hour, both towers collapse in flames. So many lives were lost this day, including the Pentagon and Flight 93. All we can do is pray with a city full of debris. No one will ever forget this. Each year is a moment of silence. And to every family member a kiss as the sun fades over the horizon. So that is the poem I wrote. That was kind of early in the stages of my poem writing, so it's probably not the greatest, but I still wanted to share it with you. And so I would definitely say remember to be around your family today and make sure you give them a kiss and a hug and be thankful that what you have in this moment is surrounded by you, your family, and your loved ones. And finally, I would like to ring a bell. It's not really a bell though, it's a Tibetan singing bowl that I'm going to hit that I use for meditation, but it's going to be used for today. but it's for everyone involved in 9/11. The survivors, the people who did not make it out that day, who passed away, the heroes that risked their lives that didn't make it, the heroes that did make it, the family members who lost loved ones, as well as the family members who got to hug their loved ones. And finally, I do want to ring the bell, well, ding the Tibetan singing bowl for the ones who were lucky enough to not be there that day. So this one is just for everyone, and I would like a moment of peace afterwards. Alright. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and you stay safe and hug your loved ones. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.